Well, when I heard the news, I was upset. I was disappointed. I was sad. I was mad at the same time. So I was on break Friday. And by the way, Jennifer was out there. So we sat in my truck, and I was telling her how I feel, because I feel like the people deserved it better still. And the way the election went, it was unfair.
For a few months now, all eyes have been on the Amazon warehouse here in Bessemer, Alabama, to see if it would be the first in the country to unionize after allegations of mistreatment of workers. But on Friday, they got their answer. There are a few hundred contested votes, but the official numbers show that among the workers who voted, a majority said no to unionizing. The union says there's a reason for that.
I think with a lot of the people who voted no, they were sad too, because they were saddened that they had voted no before they had an opportunity to get more information about the union. They had no idea about the union, and with the information that Amazon had given them, they rushed and voted no, but when they tried to get their ballots back, the labor board said no.
That's been sort of a sticking point in this election. The allegation that Amazon essentially pressured workers to vote no before they even knew what the union was offering. Workers continually received text messages and mailers telling them that a union was a bad idea. Amazon also had employees attend classes during work hours, where they were given anti-union messaging. That's all technically legal, but the union is saying that Amazon crossed the line by, among other things, giving employees misleading information, like in this text message sent to workers, which implied that employees would have to pay dues, even though that's not true in the state of Alabama.
It's illegal to intimidate and coerce employees, right, out of joining a union. You can't threaten loss of benefits. You can't threaten futility of bargaining, which basically says, you're not going to be able to get anything anyways. Even if you unionize, we're not going to bargain with you. You can't threaten people to lose their job, right? And so throughout the 7-week period, Amazon did a lot of that.
Amazon has denied intimidating voters and says they didn't break the law. The union says they did, and they filed a complaint with the National Labor Relations Board to get the results thrown out. But there is no guarantee that'll work.
What if this challenge that you're putting up right now to the NLRB, they find no fault, and they say, you know what? No harm, no foul.
Sure.
Nothing bad happened.
Sure.
What do you do then?
Ultimately, whether the board were to say that they overstepped lines or not, you can always file another petition in 1 year. And so we could have this exact same fight next year. And so,
Y'all gonna do it again next year if you have
to? If workers want a union, we're gonna get them a union.
But on the other hand, there are outspoken Amazon employees who said they never want a union. One of them is J.C. Thompson. He's a supervisor who manages around 60 workers on the warehouse floor. He's been vocal about his support for Amazon, and he even appeared in an official press conference last week. He also happens to be a pastor at a church in Tuscaloosa.
If I'm anointed in this place, I ought to be anointed at Amazon. If I'm anointed in this place, I ought to be anointed in public wherever I am. We're doing this because we are passionate and we believe in Amazon. It's not about how much money Jeff Bezos has. He started a company and it became successful. My thing is, I want a piece of the rock. And I think I have a piece of the rock working here, and I'm trying to work my way up. My desire is to run a plant. I want to be a general manager. That's what I want to do. So I'm setting myself up in a way. I have goals. I have ambitions. And that's what I want to do.
Is there a line Amazon could cross that would make you say, you know what, that's it?
The line that Amazon crossed is those 800 people, or those people that were on the front line. If they are not treated like I'm treated, then that will be the end of the road for me. They got to be treated fairly.
Do you have the power to make that happen? Do you have the power to make sure that they're protected?
I think I have the influence.
Stand up, fight back! Stand up, fight back! Stand up, fight back! Stand up, fight back!
Pretty early on, I would say especially in March, people really started saying, hey, look, if they can do it in Bessemer, maybe this could happen anywhere in the U.S. And maybe this is that first domino that really starts to put pressure on Amazon. So it didn't happen.
Sure.
Are you worried that the opposite effect could happen, where instead of this result encouraging people, that it could discourage people from starting unions?
Yeah, I think, ultimately, you take the challenges away and they got about 35% of the vote. I don't think that that's a discouraging number. I think that workers try to take on Amazon and they got close. I mean, this is never going to be an easy fight. It was a David and Goliath story for a reason. I think for us, it's you started something that you're not going to stop. You know, it needs to be, the next campaign needs to be 20 unions and 20 Amazon fulfillment centers, and we need to, you know, keep pushing forward. And so ultimately, that's what we're going to do. I think the labor movement's about to take off, and this was just the first part of that.